tries to come back and be like, but Nene, it doesn't matter. The way that you used it, bitch is bitch, pretty much. Bitch, what was your antennas?
We are friends. So as your friend, if I feel the need to call you a bitch, I don't need to be your friend. If she's been burned in the past, you know, maybe she's not automatically want to call someone her friend that quickly. But bitch, you told that shit to Jackie and Sunday.
I'm just tired of Chantel overall. I'm just like, I understand you want to be relevant, but this is not the way to get your relevance.
We liked you better last season.
Well, a little bit better. I didn't give a fuck for her then either.
I didn't.
So, last week's show, the week before the one that just came, we saw Nene call we saw Nene call Peter a bitch. You need to stay out of bitch business. You always acting like a bitch, is what she said. Then she comes back on this show, and she was like, I wasn't trying to call you a bitch. What I was trying to say is that you were acting like a bitch.
Same diff, bitch. Same diff.
While little Miss Cynthia sits over there and lets her say this shit. But then tries to come back and be like, but Nene, it doesn't matter. The way that you used it, bitch is bitch, pretty much. But bitch, what was your antennas when she dropped that B word all up in your face after them in Mexico?
It shouldn't have gotten to the point where, first of all, you guys haven't talked in about a week or two since you got back. So it's very interesting that you guys apparently only conversate during recording sessions. Whatever. And then it's very interesting that your husband had to tell you that you needed to say something, because at the end of the day, where the fuck is her goddamn sister Mallory? Because Mallory would have been checked that shit.
For her. And that's not even Peter's wife. But Mallory would have been like, that's just too far.
Like, I'm sorry, Nene. No, that's just not okay.
No, that's not okay.
Which is really sad, to where it's like, I don't understand how Cynthia felt so comfortable to get up in motherfucking Candy's face, but when it came to Nene, she was just like, oh, Nene, don't do that. And then all of a sudden they have their little luncheon, and she's just like, oh, you know, I'm not trying to be the peacemaker, but I feel like we're friends. And when they first sat down, she was like, I feel like I should order Nene a drink. Should I order her a drink? And then Peter was like, no.
We're here to either beef with her or squash beef with her.
Exactly.
Because with Nene, you never know which way it might go.
Exactly. And then they get there, they sit down, and then she decides to tell Nene and be like, yeah, you know, I wasn't really sure if I should have or shouldn't have ordered you a drink. And she was like, you could have did that. And then when Peter gets his drink, she gives Peter's drink to Nene. You didn't see that, did you? Did you see that part?
Ass kisser. She raggedy.
Did you see that part?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, girl, she was
part.
like, they get their drinks, because I guess his drink was the same drink that Nene would have gotten.
Oh,
and
no.
then she was like, maybe Nene should have that one. And then he's like, okay. And so he gives Nene his drink, and then he waits for the next drink.
First of all, Peter's a pussy.
Bitch, get your own drink.
Oh, wait, did I just say that? Peter's a pussy? Because Peter's a pussy. In defense for her husband, she should have said something off top. Now, when Peter brought it up to her, like you said, Peter was like, you need to say something. When Peter brought it up to her, did you see the look in her face? Kind of like, damn, I don't want to say nothing. And then she's like, yeah, I'll say something. Yeah, I'll say something. I don't got no problem with that.
It's like, why are you fronting to your own man?
But your man is obviously feeling some kind of way that you didn't say something. That's why he told you your ass need to say something.
And he shouldn't have had to tell you to say something, because, like you said earlier, she should have said something right then and there.
Because had that been Candy? Ooh, girl. Had that been Phaedra? Ooh, girl.
Had that have been Marlo? Ooh, bitch.
You know what? I wonder, and this is super random, and I don't know why, but who I want to see on one of these shows, whether it be Real Housewives of Atlanta or Basketball Wives of LA, is Erica Mena.
That bitch.
She would stir some shit the fuck up on
She wouldn't even stir shit up. She would just whoop bitches' ass. I want a scene with Erica Mena and Jocelyn Hernandez, and then to see if they actually would get along. Ooh. They might actually get along.
They might.
You see, her and K. Michelle got along.
Yeah, and Jocelyn don't play that shit either, though. Low key, Jocelyn don't pop off.
Exactly,
they kind of get along.
I feel like with Jocelyn and K. Michelle, they're so much they're the same. They both will fight. They both will pop off. They're both very funny. They both talk shit. Yep. Same thing with Eric and Minna. Yep. So I'm thinking that they might actually get along. They will. Until last season on Love and Hip Hop ATL, what was it? Jocelyn and K. Michelle had never even talked to each other unless it was at like a reunion type thing because they never had scenes together. Right. And when they finally did have a scene together, they were like, "Oh, you're kind of cool,
girl. I fuck with you, girl. I actually like you.
You never know."
Girl, I would love to see Erica Mena get on one of these shows and stir some shit up. She would get these old bitches together. She would get these young bitches together. She needs
to get Jackie Christie together, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Girl, she would beat the shit out of Jackie Christie.
Girl, I got some tea on Jackie Christie, but we'll talk about that later.
I heard. Did you tell me that she's from Puyallup?
She's actually from the Central District, boo.
What?
We'll talk about that later. Anyways, so
I didn't hear nothing about her. Girl, she go to Garfield.
Girl, my aunt works with someone that grew up with her. So you wait till I sit down with my aunt's friend. Ooh. You wait, because we all park in the same spot. Ooh. So when I catch up to her,
girl, it's gonna be
because she knows some. We'll talk about that when we get to Basketball Wives. Right. Anyways, so the only other thing that happened, because off some real shit, they made up. They did their little kumbaya shit. But off some real shit, I was here for Peter. When Peter was like, look, let's have a clear understanding here. We are friends. Mm-hmm. So as your friend, if I feel the need to call you a bitch, I don't need to be your friend.
Right.
Like, it's one thing to be like, bitch, please, you're stupid. You know, like, oh, bitch. Well, like, the way that Jasmine and I do it, that's one way. But that bitch said, you need to stop trying to act like a bitch.
She said, you know what your problem is, Peter? You know what your problem is? You need to quit acting like a bitch.
And it's like, that was not in a friendly way. Bitch, you came for him in so many ways that you slapped him over the head and cut him with a glass.
Girl, she might as well have just slapped him over the head.
Turned his hair back black.
Girl.
And grew some hair on his head, girl.
I'm like, girl, it made her grow some hair?
Because you know the hair on his face is white and he ain't white and he ain't got no hair on his head.
You know, I kind of feel sorry for Peter sometimes because I know he I think he really does want to try to make way for him and his wife, but the way he's going about it is kind of corny. This whole spinoff show that he's asking for is a little bit whack to me. The whole he bought the lounge with her money, that's even whacker to me. Like, just stop, Peter. Just find both your own way.
The lounge and the new venue that he just decided to fucking surprise her with, which took most of her goddamn money.
The Bailey agency?
Yeah, the new one. He used her money. Ooh. So they had their original Bailey agency, which got really small. And then he surprised her with a new venue for her Bailey agency that he used part of their money to get. Then he went and bought that goddamn car. Didn't fucking tell her ass about buying the car. And that was when Mallory was like, so he bought this shit and didn't tell you?
Didn't say nothing? Wow.
So they got some issues going on in that marriage.
You know, and you know that's why they stay in everybody else's business.
Exactly.
That.
And you know, that kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. We only see a certain part of their life. We, one, only see what they allow us to see on camera. And two, we only see what we can see that the cameras catch. Yeah. So we don't know what the fuck's going on when they're really going to sleep at night once those cameras leave the room. We don't know what happens when Phaedra isn't really, you know, when the cameras aren't rolling. Because I remember one scene when they were driving off and it seemed like their mics were still on, and Apollo was like, you're not my mama, and she was like, I am your mama.
I think Phaedra be getting Apollo's ass together, but it's
just off camera, but it clearly doesn't work, girl.
Like, all the time on camera, though, it just seems like she's so tired of him.
Mm-hmm. Like, I would be too, like, she's older than Tim, right?
I think she's older than him, but she done got him together and all that shit, and then, how you gonna try to play me? Like, get out of here. Mm-hmm. I'm so sick of Apollo, like, your looks are not going to take you that far, bruh. You got to have something else to back you up.
I mean, he's not in jail anymore because I did see ATLN from, I think that's how she pronounced her name, from Straight from the A. Uh-huh. She posted up some photos with her and a few other people, and Apollo was in the photo. Uh-huh. She also posted up a photo with her and Kirk, who apparently is still with Rashida, so I'm kind of surprised with that.
Well, I knew that marriage wasn't going to break up.
Of course, but it was just so fucked up how it went down. I can't wait until ATL comes back. Y'all, we gonna be going in. The only other thing that happened on Real Housewives of Atlanta was Portia and her crazy ass demands, and then trying to say that it needs to go back to her lawyer. But we're not even gonna go on that because them demands were just as dingy as she is.
Yeah.
So let's get into Basketball Wives LA.
You seen how fucking Candy just bypassed that?
She was like, "I'm gonna just let you know right now." Bitch, you're sharing a room with me and D Woods. Get over it.
Okay, and don't think that you're gonna be on Eddie Levert status.
And don't think we're paying for your gas, because bitch, you live in Timbuktu's sister's backyard.
So if you want to be a part of this production, gather yourself.
Bitch, hop on a plane.
And come through Humble, and we'll be good.
Take a limo.
I did this for a favor for you, girl.
Because she's the only one that apparently has an understudy. And bitch, you haven't even signed your contract. Everybody else that has done something other than sit up here and be on a fucking reality show and act an ass has signed over their contract. And your motherfucking ass is the one that's acting brand new, because you are technically brand new.
But what's hella funny is the whole understudy. The understudy was even laughing at this girl. Candy was like, girl, we gonna give the understudy the job.
She's like, we don't have time.
We don't have time for this. So, but anyway, yeah. Real Housewives of Atlanta. We'll do some more about that later.
Let's talk a little bit about Basketball Wives LA. Honestly, a lot didn't really happen in Basketball Wives LA. The first thing that I want to talk about, because it's like a quick little touch and go type thing, is the whole Brandy and Drea thing, with Drea essentially... I get why she's upset with Brandy for not saying that to her about them, quote unquote, not being friends, but just being friendly, because it makes sense. If she's been burned in the past, you know, maybe she's not automatically going to call someone her friend that quickly. But bitch, you told that shit to Jackie and Sunday after the bitch walks out.
Did I tell you those bitches were on Arsenio?
Doing what?
Jackie, British, and Sunday. They all found time to continue to hate on Drea, girl. You're on Arsenio. You got a fucking alcohol line that you're trying to put out. How come you didn't want to just touch on that and just stay on that? Why are you guys really still... And girl, they put Sunday together, so she thinks she was T-Girl. It was just a mess, girl. Let me show you this shit.
Bitch, y'all done filmed the season.
Jackie's
the
talking
season
about,
is
we're
over.
Real friends, and you know we're real friends. Wop, 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 girl.
I love how Drea is like the only way for people to get some shine on this show. If you're not beefing with Drea, nobody really apparently cares about you.
The newest episode, and I think you asked Drea about being a hoe.
That's true.
Yeah, what was the exact question? Are you a hoe?
Are you a hoe? Tell me the honest truth. I think that's what I said.
Yeah, and what were you trying to get? What were you trying to achieve in that?
I was trying to ask, really ask the question that all the viewers want to know. Everyone says you are, but are you? You answer it for yourself. I would rather ask her than to ask Jackie or to ask Sunday. I'm asking you yourself, so you can do nothing but respect it.
Yeah, that's interesting. What did Drea do before?
Look at Jackie's outfit.
I believe she used to be an exotic dancer. I think that's what she says.
And that's a nice way to put it. As you watch the show this season, you'll see exactly what Drea does and where she came from.
Ooh.
Right, Sunday?
Yes, I agree.
It's a basketball.
How are they just all of a sudden so close?
Because none of them like Drea. This is the thing with hating ass bitches.
They all
hating ass bitches flock together when they don't like the same bitch. We all know that Sunday doesn't have a reason not to like Drea, besides the fact that Drea looks better than her and Drea doesn't give a fuck about her. We all know that British doesn't have a reason to not like Drea, because British probably thought that she was going to come on there and be the youngest girl and be the quote-unquote most tea, because Drea, when she came on, she was the youngest and everybody was worried about her, and then she ended up being the star. But in turn, you came on there looking like a fucking Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
And, I say that because when I first saw British, I was like, oh, she's cute. But then her attitude came out. Then she started taking off her shoes,
popping
and shit,
off every chance she get. Like, nobody has
I'd be damned if I'm popping off on camera. What? You can't take that back. I see you.
Every time I turn around, you're going to pop off?
And every time you turn around, you're going to talk shit about Drea? Come on now. That shouldn't be the only reason why your ass is relevant. Speaking of being only relevant because of Drea, Chantel.
Oh, dear God, Chantel.
We got a problem. I'm going to tell you why the fuck me and Chantel have a problem. Me and Chantel have a motherfucking problem because Chantel is from Seattle. And Chantel and Jackie represent the bad part of Seattle that we have for women here in Seattle. We have a lot of bitches in Seattle that are very, very messy like Jackie. And according to the person that I know that actually grew up with Jackie, Jackie is actually from Seattle. And she actually potentially grew up in the Central District area, which is a very, very centralized area of Seattle. We do have a lot of people out here that act just like Jackie. They like the drama. They like the messy. They like to bring shit up. They actually get it's like they get a rise off of seeing someone be stressed out.
Of course.
And literally causing that stress. And then you have bitches like Shani. Shani is the type of girl where out here in Seattle, they like somebody, and then, you know, potentially they think that they're about to get with the person said they don't want them, and then they're just really pressed about the situation. We end up seeing next week that Drea ends up bringing out her boyfriend, and they all have a little meeting with Shani, and all of a sudden, Shani's up in his face, fucking pounding her hand in her goddamn fist, going in on this man. It's like, come on, son. Why are you so mad? And it's funny how when friggin' Chantel gets there and she's trying to confront Drea, first of all, she's like, what do you have to say about me? Drea doesn't have shit to say about you, nor has Drea said anything about you, seeing that your mother keeps bringing you up. That's for one. Two, I found it very funny that Shani was really quick to be like, oh, why are you so mad? Bitch, you're the one that's yelling. Right. She wasn't yelling. Three, this bitch had the audacity to ask Drea, why are you here? Why are you here? I did not know you were coming.
Girl, not only why am I here, girl, I am a part of this show, girl.
Why do you have a confession all of a sudden? Oh, that's why, because you're talking about me.
As always.
If it didn't have shit to do with Drea, when she was talking shit about her mom and meeting up with Laura, that bitch didn't have no fucking confessional. But now that she's going head to head with Drea, now that she finally lost a little bit of weight and she got her hair together.
She finally did that hair. Bitch is not bald anymore.
She gets a little confessional. Like, the girl thinks she's cute sitting up in Drea's face. Drea was like, I think you're mad that I'm with Orlando and you're not. She's like, why am I mad? You look stupid. You look stupid being so mad on camera and ain't nobody even asked you to come here.
But Drea's never really been mad at Chantel. She just repeated what she heard. Just like she said, she's like, I'm just saying what I heard. Exactly. Chantel has no reason at all to be mad at fucking Drea. Jackie's just a messy ass old bitch. She gets on my nerves.
And the crazy thing is, it's like, she's like, oh, I must be a big issue if you and him are always talking about me and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. She was like, we don't talk about you. She was like, well, he brought me up. Yeah, once. Oh, but you guys are always talking about me. No, your mom brings you up. It's really funny how when someone like Chantel is so just pissed off and then they're just going in, they think they have all the ammo and then you kind of block it. So then they try to shoot another one and then you block that shit and then they try to shoot another one and then you block that shit with a fucking smooth ass Matrix style shit. Like she was like, oh, you guys talk about me all the time. We don't talk about you. Your mom brings you up. Right. Okay, well, Orlando talks about me and you and him talk. No, he told me about you once. He said something about the best friend, and I brought it up again once your mom said something about me. Oh, but you're constantly have my name in your mouth. Yeah, because your mom constantly brings your ass up, bitch.
At the end of the day, you're no relevance. Why are you so mad? Your mom's trying to help you get a spinoff show or a dating show or some shit. I would not be surprised if I seen her do some shit like The Bachelor or something.
My issue is that I think Shani is like, I think she thinks that she's Evelyn's Shanice.
Yeah, no.
Shanice.
I
think her name was Shanice.
Shanice is T.
I think that she thinks that she's Evelyn's Shanice. And, bitch, you are not Evelyn's Shanice. Shanice minds her own goddamn business. Yeah. She comes on the show. She looks cute. She tells her mama the real tea and goes the fuck on about her goddamn day. Takes some modeling photos and then sits her ass in a future video. Like, that's what the fuck Shanice does. She doesn't sit up here and do the Shani bullshit where she wants to be messy. You never had to come on camera and tell your mama that you were dating Drea's man.
Nope.
Or dated Drea's man. She was like, oh yeah, well I dated your man. Drea was like, we were not together when you guys dated. So why are you...
And do you really call that dating?
You guys talked for like 2 days. He saw you, thought your ass was fat, and was like, here, you can have her.
Ugh.
And I think she's pissed. Because I honestly think that's what the fuck happens. Yeah. And he was like, you didn't smash the homie. That's what you're trying to tell me, that you really didn't smash the homie. Okay.
Right. But Jackie, of course, thinks that her daughter is a virgin. I'm just tired of Chantel overall. I'm just like, I understand you want to be relevant, but this is not the way to get your relevance.
We liked you better last season.
Well, a little bit better. I didn't give a fuck for her then either.
I didn't either, but at least I could stand her.
I could tolerate her. More tolerable. She definitely was a little more tolerable, but she definitely, like, she's changing the way she dresses. Last season, you seen her in like jean shirts and denim shirts.
Drea was talking about her hair. She was like, "This bitch coming out here in 30-inch weaves and shit."
You know what I mean? Now that she's got a 30-inch weave, she thinks she's tea, and you're not tea, girl.
She's like, I just want to know what you have to say. Why do you care so much?
Why?
Please tell me why you care so much. Oh, I know, because you need extra camera time.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's about it.
But the only tea that I really have about Jackie, until I sit down with my mom's friend, is that apparently it really is true that she apparently didn't dress. Well, that, and apparently she really didn't raise her kids. Like, I guess her daughter didn't really just write some fictitious act. Like, I guess that really did. It did happen. Like, I guess she really didn't raise her kids.
Oh, wow.
And apparently she
But how could Doug Christie let that happen? Chantel's his daughter, isn't he?
Yeah, but the dark-skinned one is not. I believe they have different fathers. She has a darker-skinned daughter, and then she has a lighter-skinned daughter.
What's the darker one's name?
I don't remember. But apparently they don't get along.
No, she hates her.
And, you know, she was like, I remember when she was like, you need to be smaller like Shani, and she like wrote on her blog post how her mom would make her work out and do all types of crazy ass bullshit like that. And then I also thought that Jackie was just being messy for the show. No, Jackie is like this in real life apparently. This is normal Jackie. This shit that we're seeing on this show, this is Jackie.
No, at some point the fakery has to stop. Like, how can you fake for so long? At some point, it stops. So if that's how you are still, any fakery that you do. I'm saying, like, if you're faking, you can only go on
what
for
I'm
so
saying
long
is she's not pretending to be messy.
No,
she
that's
really
what I'm saying.
That
like,
messy.
even if she was pretending, it wouldn't be able to really go on for that long before she reveals her real self. Mm-hmm. So at this point, I believe you. You're that fucking messy.
And it's crazy. But the thing is, you know, sometimes with these shows, you kind of wonder, it's like, okay, are you playing this up for the show? Because, you know, like, you know, the messier that you are, okay, if you watch an interview with Jackie, she's the same way in her interviews that she is on the show. You watch an interview with Kenya, she's not the same way in her interviews that she is on the show.
Yeah.
So it makes it to where it's like, okay, you're clearly not like this fucking crazy in reality. You're doing this shit to stay on the show. That's fine. Same thing that I've noticed with Nene. You see her ass outside the show, she doesn't really act like that much. When you see her on the show, it's like she acts like that because she knows that this is the persona that she's given, and she has to keep this shit up when she's on the show. She has to do something to be
It's about ratings. It's about ratings.
But apparently Jackie is really as crazy as she is, and I just want a little more information on her personally, especially now that I know she really is from Seattle. Bitch, where you been hiding? I'm gonna find out.